And Gabby Williams were slow to get up after a collision underneath the basket. Here's what happened.
Oh, that is a major collision for the two of them. They both knock heads. It took them both some time to get to their feet.
Lexie Hull took such a hard hit to the head that fans thought her night had ended right there. But just minutes later, she was back on the floor with a bump on her forehead, diving for boards as if nothing had happened. That single display of grit summed up what this Indiana Fever team is all about. On a night meant to celebrate Caitlin Clark, they showed up without Caitlin, missing nearly their whole backcourt, and still left with a season sweep over the Seattle Storm. So how did Hull, Aaliyah Boston, Odyssey Sims, and Kelsey Mitchell completely change the narrative in one game? And what did Aaliyah Boston say afterward that lit a fire under the whole locker room? If you're riding with the Fever, drop "I've got the fever" in the comments. Let's go.
Woo! First home game. Got a dub. Let's get it.
Big dub. Let's go.
Fever dub. Woo! Dubs. It's giving sweet.
The obstacles for Indiana started long before tip-off. Caitlin Clark remained out with the groin issue that had already sidelined her since mid-July. Along with her, Sophie Cunningham, Ari McDonald, and Sydney Colson were all shut down for most of the season, while Chloe Baby continued to manage knee soreness. That left the Fever stripped of most of their guard depth, forcing reserves into bigger roles, and putting heavy pressure on the starters to log big minutes on one of the most important nights of the season.
AB's been the one that's been most affected by all of our injuries. You know, all of the point guards that know how to get her the ball and how they get it to her. And it's not just getting her the ball, it's where you get it to her. You know, getting it to her on time, on target, you know, thinking one pass ahead, you know, all that matters. And I thought today, her aggressiveness with the ball in her hands to the rim, getting into defenders, playing low to high instead of high to low. When she plays like that, you know, there's nobody that can stop her. And, you know, she set the tone for us, really on both ends. You know, she had the NECA assignment as well and set the tone for us on both ends. And, you know, she was terrific.
And the timing couldn't have been worse. Indiana had dropped 4 of their last 5, sliding dangerously close to the playoff cut line. They came in with a 19-18 record, holding on to the 8th and final postseason slot, while Seattle sat just above them in 6th. Every possession mattered, not just to avoid another skid, but to climb in a playoff race separated by a single victory. For the players and the fans, the urgency was crystal clear.
Aaliyah, this is a string of games, beginning of a string of games against the teams you're competing for a playoff spot against. Did this game feel more important in that regard? And I guess how big was it to get a win in this one?
Yeah, I mean, going into this game, we talked about that this was going to be a big game for us, considering the standings where Seattle was. But, you know, going into the West Coast trip, I mean, right now we're just going to be focused on LA. That's kind of been our motto this entire season, is just focus on the game ahead of you, be where your feet are. And so starting tomorrow, we're going to be looking at LA. But, I mean, this next string of games definitely important for us, but we got to take it one game at a time.
Once the ball was tipped, the adjustment was obvious. With Clark's perimeter shooting missing and multiple veteran guards unavailable to steady the offense, Indiana had to rely heavily on paint scoring and work the glass to stay alive. Seattle, with its experienced core still pushing to secure postseason seeding, looked like the exact kind of opponent ready to exploit Indiana's short rotation. Most in the arena expected the Fever to fight hard, but at best, keep it close.
It's special. I mean, you know, there's very few people who get the opportunity to say that they have a logo and to make the impact that she makes, not just, I think, in the sport, but globally, just by being who she is. She's a connector. She brings people together. And, you know, I think for us to be a part of that, and whether it's, you know, as simple as being able to celebrate all of these things with her, or, you know, as much as walking out into the arena and seeing the whiteout on the chairs out there, it's really cool. And it's really special and shoot, I'm talking about it right now, and just feeling the intense gratitude for me personally, being in women's basketball, to be able to be a part of this moment and to celebrate with her.
But the Fever came out carrying themselves with a different edge. Instead of letting injuries or the distraction of the Clark tribute night define them, they treated it like a test of resilience. Every defensive switch seemed tighter, every rebound battle carried extra contact. The crowd, hyped by Clark's presence on the sidelines but eager for another hero, began to feed off the hustle, and it was in that tense, high-stakes moment that the play which defined the night unfolded. One collision that highlighted all of Indiana's determination.
And Gabby Williams were slow to get up after a collision underneath the basket. Here's what happened.
Oh, that is a major collision for the two of them. They both knock heads. It took them both some time to get to their feet.
It unfolded in the opening quarter. Lexie Hull and Gabby Williams both lunged after a loose ball under the rim when their heads smacked together violently. The sound echoed through the arena and both dropped to the floor. Williams stayed on the bench afterward, but Hull headed straight to the locker room, holding her forehead. Cameras showed the swelling appear almost instantly, a bump so visible it made fans cringe both at home and inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The energy in the building went silent, with 5 teammates already sidelined. Losing Hull felt like the breaking point.
Happened on that play?
Well, I didn't know exactly what happened when it happened. It was kind of just like a clash. But looking at the video, it just, Gabby and I ran into each other. Unlucky. I think we both have knots on our heads, so we both kept playing, so it's all right.
Were you pretty dazed when you...
Yeah, I think it's more of like what just happened, big collision. I just need some time. Felt my face, felt a growing knot, so that doesn't feel good.
Most assumed her night was finished. It seemed impossible to take such a blow and return the same game, especially with a knot on her head growing by the minute. And here's the truth. Hull isn't known for lighting up the scoreboard, but on this shorthanded Fever squad, her hustle is vital. She guards top perimeter players, scraps for 50-50 balls, and fuels the team with relentless energy. Without her, Indiana's defensive holes would have only widened. Everyone understood it. If Hull couldn't go, survival felt nearly impossible. Swelling appear almost instantly. A bump so visible it made fans cringe both at home and inside. Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The energy in the building went silent. With 5 teammates already sidelined, losing Hull felt like the breaking point.
Storm basketball. The new starters, Kelsey Fitzgerald, Lexie Hull, second for the field.
As the minutes ticked away, the crowd braced for the worst. Then, almost unexpectedly, Hull re-emerged from the tunnel and checked back in. The swelling was plain to see, yet she played with the same fire as before. On her very first possession, back, she threw herself to the floor, chasing a loose ball like nothing had happened. The building erupted, fans on their feet roaring in approval. What looked like a crushing blow suddenly became the spark of the night. Hull later admitted she felt dazed right after the collision, but still pushed through, logging heavy minutes. She even joked afterward that teammates kept saying she looked gorgeous despite the giant lump on her head.
Getting back on the bench, was everybody just kind of staring at your forehead directly? And...
I knew, yeah. Everyone's like, you look beautiful. I was like, I know I look insane. But it honestly looks better now than it did when it first happened, so hopefully this goes down quick.
Did you glance up at the video board to see it? Did you get a look at it?
No, I could see it. Looking out, I could see it just from my own eyes, so I didn't need to look anywhere. I knew it was going to be big.
No way. So it's in your peripheral vision?
Yes, it was literally sticking out. I mean, it's still big right here, but it was bigger and I could see it, so they brought it down a little. Your
teammates, your coach, the GM, everybody's just kind of talking about your toughness, I guess, so there's not really a good way to ask that question, but if you could just talk to me about that toughness and where that comes from.
I mean, if I can play, if I feel like I can play, whether or not I look good or not isn't the problem. So, I think for me, it's just the team is the most important thing, getting wins the most important thing, and if I can contribute in any way I can, that's what I'm going to do. So if it's playing a little injured, playing a little hurt, that is what it is.
Awesome.
That choice to keep battling rippled through the entire roster. The bench saw it, the starters felt it, and Aaliyah Boston later spelled it out. She called Hull the very definition of toughness, and it wasn't just a compliment. It captured the exact identity Indiana embodied that night.
Hull gets hit in the head there at the beginning of the game, comes back in. If you could just speak to her toughness and what it meant seeing her fight through what sure was not very pleasant.
I feel like Lexie's the definition of tough.
Yes.
I think when you just think of her as a player, the way that she hustles, she likes to get loose balls, extra offensive possessions. That's what she does. I mean, she got hit, she came back and just continued to contribute again. Was a pest on defense, just making her presence felt, offensive rebounds, and that's just who Lexie is. So.
What did you think about the Fever's fight without Caitlin Clark? Was Lexie Hull the toughest player on the floor? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more Fever coverage, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Let's keep the conversation going. Fever fans, this is your moment.